If there's one fighter who's given absolutely everything to the sport of MMA, it's Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira. From his humble beginnings in Brazil's favelas to becoming one of the most dangerous finishers in UFC history, Oliveira's story is one of pure determination, grit, and passion. But now, after 15 years of unforgettable wars, record-breaking performances, and emotional highs and lows, the beloved former lightweight champion might be getting ready to say goodbye. And he's not looking for just any farewell fight. He wants to go out in style. His dream? A rematch with Max Blessed Holloway, one of the biggest names and most respected fighters in the game. That's right. Oliveira has his eyes set on one final showdown that could be both historic and emotional. Oliveira versus Holloway 2, the beginning of a legacy. To truly understand why this moment matters, we need to rewind the clock. Charles Oliveira first joined the UFC back in 2010. He was just 20 years old. A kid with lightning-fast submissions, flashy strikes, and a smile that hid the struggles he'd faced growing up in poverty. Over the years, fans watched him evolve from a talented prospect into a true martial artist, one who refused to quit, no matter how many times he stumbled. And let's be real, he stumbled a lot. Early in his career, Oliveira was inconsistent. He'd win spectacularly one night, then lose heartbreakingly the next. Critics called him fragile. They said he'd never make it to the top, but Oliveira proved them all wrong. Fast forward to 2021. After years of grinding, setbacks, and soul-testing fights, he finally captured the UFC Lightweight Championship, defeating Michael Chandler in a stunning comeback. That victory wasn't just a win. It was the moment Oliveira's career came full circle. The kid who once struggled to buy food for his family was now holding UFC gold. He defended the title in unforgettable battles against Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, earning a reputation as one of the most dangerous finishers in the sport's history. No one blended striking and submission skills quite like Du Bronx. A career full of records. To this day, Oliveira holds several UFC records that may never be broken. He has the most finishes and the most submission victories in UFC history. That's insane when you think about how long the UFC has been around. Every time he steps into the cage, fans expect fireworks. Because with Charles Oliveira, someone's either getting choked, knocked out, or left speechless. But greatness comes with a cost. Over the years, Oliveira has been in some brutal wars, the kind that leave scars not just on the body, but on the soul. He's been dropped, cut, rocked, and bloodied, yet somehow he always finds a way to come back stronger. Now, at 35 years old and with nearly 15 years inside the octagon, the Brazilian legend admits he's thinking about the end. The final run. Oliveira returns this weekend, Saturday, October 11, 2025, at UFC Rio, where he'll face Mateusz Gamrot in the main event, a huge matchup for the lightweight division. For Oliveira, this isn't just another fight. It's potentially the start of his final run. In a recent interview with Shock MMA, Oliveira opened up about his future and dropped a news that caught everyone's attention. He said through a translator, "The first is winning this fight and fighting for a title, whether it's a BMF or a title in the division. This is a great fight that will propel me towards a title. I think a lot of people, everyone, would love to see this fight. Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway. I want this to be my last fight." That's right. Oliveira is planning to retire soon, and he wants his farewell fight to be against Max Holloway for either the BMF title or another major belt. Why Max Holloway? It's an interesting choice, and one that makes perfect sense once you think about it. Oliveira and Holloway first met way back in 2015, when both fighters were still on the rise. That fight, however, ended in heartbreak for Oliveira. He suffered a neck injury in the first round, forcing a stoppage just minutes in. For years, fans have wondered what would have happened if that fight had continued. Now, 10 years later, both men are completely different fighters. Stronger, smarter, and far more experienced. Max Holloway, blessed himself, is a legend in his own right. The former featherweight champion is one of the best boxers in MMA history, known for his insane volume of strikes and granite chin. Recently, Holloway's been on a tear, destroying Justin Gaethje and proving he's still one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So, an Oliveira versus Holloway fight now? It's not just a rematch. It's a battle between two all-time greats, both looking to cement their legacies. The perfect goodbye. For Oliveira, this fight represents more than just competition. It's closure. After years of chasing belts, proving doubters wrong, and carrying the hopes of millions of Brazilian fans, Oliveira wants to walk away on his own terms. And doing it in a massive showdown with Holloway, possibly for the BMF title, would be a storybook ending. Imagine it. Two fan favorites, both warriors of the octagon, meeting for one final, unforgettable clash. Oliveira gets the chance to avenge the strange end of their first fight while giving fans one last glimpse of his brilliance. It's poetic. And honestly, if anyone deserves that kind of send-off, it's Charles Oliveira, the reality of retirement. Still, as any MMA fan knows, retirements in this sport are rarely final. We've seen countless fighters announce their farewell bouts only to return months later. Oliveira himself has denied retirement talks in the past, saying he still feels motivated and capable. So, will this really be the end? That depends on how things go at UFC Rio. If Oliveira beats Mateusz Gamrot in convincing fashion, he could be lined up for one last big fight, maybe even at the start of 2026. But if he loses, it could be the sign he's looking for that it's time to step away. Either way, fans know one thing. They need to cherish every second of Bronx while he's still here. A legacy that will last forever. Charles Oliveira's journey is the ultimate underdog story. From poverty to champion, from doubted to dominant. He didn't just win fights, he inspired millions. His resilience, his humility, and his to bounce back from failure made him one of the most beloved fighters in UFC history. Whether he retires after the Holloway fight or decides to keep going, Oliveira's place among the legends is already secured. He'll forever be remembered as the fighter who turned every setback into a comeback, and who did it all with a smile. So, if this really is the end, then what a ride it's been. From his first UFC appearance in 2010 to his championship reign, and now possibly his final chapter, Charles Oliveira has given fans everything. Now, as he prepares for UFC Rio and dreams of one last showdown with Max Holloway, we're witnessing the closing pages of a legendary career, no matter how it ends, win or lose. Bronx will always be remembered as a true warrior, a record breaker, and one of the most exciting fighters to ever step into the octagon. Hit like, comment, and subscribe for more UFC stories.